7:30 in the morning, and today is the day that I have been kind of dreading since April. But my fiance Sam enlisted into the Marine Corps, and he leaves for boot camp today. Um,
You take care. Thank you. I'll take care of you guys. Oh, you.
These young men and women are going on a long journey.
I love you so much. We all love you.
I'll miss you.
One that goes around the globe and back to the foundations of our nation.
Daddy.
People say that the Marine Corps is different from all other military organizations anywhere in the world. I'm Gene Hackman, and I was a Marine. Once you're in the Corps, you're in the Corps all your days on Earth. Why is that? The answer starts when the Marine Corps was founded in 1775. The Continental Navy needed sharpshooters to give their frigates an edge over the superior English Navy. The Marines picked off dozens of enemy seamen in our nation's first battles at sea. Without these first Marines, our nation might not have been born. Today, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps are ready to go anywhere on a moment's notice, to fight if need be, and to help where help is needed. Marines are fiercely loyal to each other, always moving, thinking, and feeling as one. That's what our motto, Semper Fidelis, always faithful, really means. That's why you never stop being a Marine. But committing to the Corps is not for the faint of heart. At Paris Island or in San Diego, recruits always arrive for the 12-week boot camp at night.
Get off my bus! No! No! I said get off my bus! Move it! On the footprint! On the footprint!
Some come from families with long traditions of serving their country. Others come from tough places where it's hard to find work. But they all arrive looking for direction to their lives, to better themselves. It all starts when you step onto the footprints where generations of Marines have stood.
Some of us are right out of high school. Some have never been away from home. Just coming here takes courage.
You got a beautiful floor.
Aye, sir.
You got modes you need to point to. Let me know where they're at.
Let's go, sir.
You hear me?
Feet on the deck. Just get your feet on the deck and all that. Yes, sir.
Then, the recruits begin their training by meeting the person who will scare the living civilian out of them, their drill instructor.
Now stand right here.
Aye, sir.
Aye, aye, sir.
Aye, sir.
And he's tough. But I can tell you he's instilling not only physical toughness, but mental toughness.
Believe me, it ain't no walk in the park.
You learn never to leave any team member behind, under any circumstance.
At boot camp, we determine what young men and women are made of, whether they can adapt and overcome, if they have what it takes to earn the title Marine. We learn lessons from past wars, like World War I, where at Bellewood in France, our Army and Marine Corps faced new weapons, machine guns, aerial bombardment, and chemical warfare. Chemical weapons are still a threat, so we train for them today. Recruits are told to unseal their masks so they can learn how to clear out the gas. It's nasty. Over the 12 weeks of boot camp training, our goal is to become an integral component of our team. We start out pretty ragged. Oh, yeah.
But just a few weeks later, we've ironed out most of the wrinkles.
To be true to our heritage, all Marines train for combat. Every Marine is a rifleman. All Marines learn to shoot with precision at long distance.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
If boot camp is a series of character tests, you could say they save the best for last.
Yes, sir.
Few things are as memorable in a Marine's boot camp experience as the rite of passage called the Crucible. It It's 54 hours, 48 miles of marching, 45 pounds of gear, and 29 intense team-building exercises, all with only 6 hours of sleep and 2 meal rations to go on.
On day one of the Crucible, I kept telling myself, I've got to finish this.
What are you doing, soldier?
And during those grueling 54 hours, I learned one thing above all. We can do this. Together. And when we do, it'll be the hardest thing that we have ever done in our lives.
We learn to lead and to count on each other. The Crucible emphasizes our motto, Semper Fidelis, always faithful. We can't make it alone. We need each other.
You push, push.
We all started this journey together, and we are all going to finish it together.
Then we're done. You've earned the Marine Corps Eagle, Globe, and Anchor, and a handshake of congratulations.
Job well done.
At that very moment, you become a Marine. It's a moment you'll never forget.
When you go on that final motivational run with your battalion, you realize you're part of something bigger.
At the same time at Quantico, the fitness of officer candidates to lead and inspire Marines is tested in every way. So if you think officers have it easy, think again. The Quigley exercises. Oh, its name alone makes officers squirm. It's snakes in the summer, ice in the winter.
Putting us through that culvert with the DI yelling at us in a confined, muddy trench, I don't think that that's anything that any of us will ever forget.
The officers are ready. Now it's time to really go to work. All across the world, Marine Corps operational units prepare for deployment to any place on Earth. At Camp Pendleton, Marines train to go in fast by air. from the sea and across the land. Marines are a triple threat. In one of the greatest battles of World War II, Marines stormed the beachhead at Iwo Jima Island. While the first Marines landed, the enemy hid in caves and tunnels, waiting for the right moment to strike back. Then, all hell broke loose. Many became heroes that day. At the top of Mount Suribachi, Marines raised the stars and stripes, boosting morale for all of our troops and creating the immortal image known around the world. Since Iwo Jima and other island campaigns in the Pacific in World War II, we've developed better ways to get ashore. A landing craft air cushion, LCAC, can carry vehicles and Marines, even up over land.
We need fast, long-range planes that can collect people and equipment without an airfield.
30 feet.
That's the
20,
Osprey,
10.
the V-22.
The Marines are always devising new ways to get troops where they need to be and get them out safely. The training exercises across Marine Corps bases and stations encompass every type of a Marine, including the four-legged kind. Loyalty is a hallmark of the Marine Corps. And who's more loyal than man's best friend?
When a handler and a dog become a team, they must first establish a fundamental level of respect amongst each other. The way you do that is by simply spending time with each other and letting the dog be a dog around you. Then slowly incorporating commands as you go along.
Seats. Blijven. Blijf. Blijf. Good. Forward.
The reason training is happening every day is because the bond is constantly being developed. And that bond is what saves your life when you're downrange.
Forward. Up. Forward. Easy. Oh, yeah. That's a good girl.
What's so beautiful about the bond between a handler and their dog is that you can communicate without saying a word.
Today, military working dogs are trained at Camp Pendleton to detect bombs and prevent terrorist attacks.
Search.
Villages have been built to simulate other parts of the world.
That's a good boy.
They look and sound authentic. They even smell like the real thing.
This dog lies down and wags its tail when it finds explosives. Dogs have a better record of finding explosives over anything else, even fancy electronic equipment.
Good boy.
We love our dogs. We'd risk our lives for them, and vice versa.
In Vietnam, more dogs were deployed in combat than ever before. Over the course of this long war, it was nice to see some familiar faces from home. Folks like Bob Hope.
I want to tell you folks, these Marines are really tough. And their motto is Semper Fidelis. That means, oh, don't worry about it, Doc. Just nail it back on.
It was a difficult war. But getting a letter from home meant everything to us. It's these moments that remind us what we are protecting.
The Mountain Warfare Training Center in Bridgeport was founded in 1951 to train Marines for Korea. Months after North Korea invaded the South, a Chinese Communist army swept in, encircling the 1st Marine Division at Chosin Reservoir, just as a brutal winter set in. Our troops were surrounded and badly outnumbered. Despite frostbite, hunger, and exhaustion, the Marines carried their wounded with them as they fought their way 90 miles to the sea. To prepare for harsh cold weather conditions like those faced in Korea, Marines train high in California's Sierra Nevada. It's cold. Oh, yeah.
All right. Turn to Chilla. 6851. Reaching it out of Water Strip.
It's not just about being able to jump into a frozen lake. It's being the sort of person that can deal with anything without fear. That's the sort of person that you can send anywhere.
Here, we think about a winter in Korea. Having to deal with that kind of cold, I think, is something I won't forget.
In the mountain terrain at Bridgeport, we also learned to climb and rappel.
Having to create your own one-rope bridges and jump in freezing water, it's just some of the best training, most dangerous training we did.
But it comes with consequences.
Because you have a fracture there.
The training is realistic and tough.
Oh, yeah, it's painful.
You won't forget it.
We train to get into places quickly. We need to be able to get ready in a few hours at a moment's notice. We don't choose where they send us. It's literally a leap into the unknown. It's a different sort of courage. Dangling there in the dark, not knowing what dangers are ahead. But what we do know is that we are part of something bigger, more important than just us.
The Corps trains Marine air crews to go in first, fast, and undetected. The best pilots are put through an intensive 7-week training course. When Marine infantry units call in an airstrike, precision is vital. The latest laser technology has made this teamwork more accurate than ever.
They're on the ground and they see our gunships in the air protecting them. They're telling us thank you every day.
It is time to move. The CH-53 does the heavy lifting. Mid-air refueling is the modern equivalent of jousting. Except a lot more's at stake if you don't hit the bullseye. Helicopter crashes can be deadly, especially when water's involved. So some Marines now train to escape from a submerged helicopter upside down.
When you do the dunker, it was the scariest thing I did in all of my training.
We do it 3 times. The third time, it's blindfolded. We also train to provide humanitarian aid to other countries around the world. We're America's international 911 responders. When there's a disaster, we're ready.
Has the Philippine government asked us for support? I've got airplanes that can look for people in areas that are stranded. That's what I do.
Marines rushed to help in Japan when a devastating earthquake and tsunami struck. And in Haiti after the earthquake. And in Nepal, where 6 Marines lost their lives when their helicopter crashed in bad weather. Marines are ready anytime. Several times a year, we gather to coordinate the capabilities we've trained for in a combined arms exercise in 29 Palms and at other bases nearby. It's a dance, and the Combat Operations Center is where the dance is choreographed.
Charlie 1-1, this is actual. Mission is a go. I say again, mission is a go.
Primary flight control, 10, primary flight control, 10, 1, 2, 3.
Their mission is to land a battalion of Marines in a small desert village with integrated air and logistic support. Now, the dance begins.
Ship is at flight quarters. All hands on board. Flight operations. Stay clear of the flight deck.
One of the most critical components of this dance is the fire support, which prepares the objective before we put boots on the ground. They have a language all their own.
Should be 3 positions.
The Marines always say that no plan survives first contact.
Instructors will throw a wrench in our plans, so we'll know how to deal with the unexpected.
Thunder 4-1, immediate cast. Stand by for game plan and 9 line.
Thunder 4-1, ready to copy.
Mortars protect the approaching assault. This training has been essential in Iraq and Afghanistan. Since the beginning of the global war on terror, the face of combat has changed.
We no longer have an enemy that wears uniforms. We don't have an enemy that has a state capital. We don't even have an enemy that has a state.
On one block, they may need to assault a building. And on the block right next to it, hand out bottled water and packaged meals. It's not just about using force, but also making and keeping the peace. At the end of a combined arms exercise, you work on ways to do it better as a team the next time.
The difficult you'll do immediately, and the impossible just takes a little bit longer. And the Marine Corps taught me that. Nothing was impossible.
We are ready when others are not. That's why we're committed to each other and to our core values of honor, courage, and commitment, selfless service and sacrifice.
My favorite thing is being a leader and being a mentor.
They're the best people I've ever met, and it's been an absolute honor to be able to serve with them, and it's something I'll cherish for the rest of my life.
And when we've done our job, we go home. That's when we realize who we do it all for.
Down in the valley, oh, I am a vision. and I can see clearly. If anybody asks you who I am, just stand up tall, look them in the face and say, hey, I'm that star up in the sky, I'm that mountain peak up high. Hey, I made it, I'm the world's greatest.
We don't aim to be heroes. But in the eyes of our loved ones, we feel pretty special.
If anybody asks you who I am, just stand up tall, look them in the face and say, hey, I'm that star up in the sky, I'm that mountain peak up high. Said I made it, I'm the world's greatest, I'm that little bit, I'm that little bit, oh yeah, when my back's against the ropes, I can feel it, I'm the world's greatest.
Most Marines start out as scared kids, but the Corps treats them well and builds their self-respect. And that's why they'll be loyal Marines till their last day on Earth.
Now I can just walk through. It's the greatest. Can you feel it? Say it, the greatest, yeah. Can you feel it? Yeah. And I saw the light at the end of the tunnel. Believe in the particle at the end of the rainbow. And the fact was right there to pull me through. Yeah. It used to be long gone. Now I just walk on through.
Boot camp was hard being apart, but seeing his dreams come true made it all worth it.